going on YouTube? This is my first get ready with me video. I'm gonna be walking you guys through a couple steps. First thing I've done is I have went ahead and applied some of my Thayer's facial mist moisturizer and also some e.l.f. hydrating face primer. I'm now going in with the Milk of Magnesia, just kind of putting that on to seal in some of my moisture because I do tend to get oily. Then as soon as that dries, you're going to go in with the Full Spectrum CoverGirl Matte Foundation. And I am using a Real Techniques brush to apply that. Now I'm only using like tapping motions, kind of pressing it into the skin just so we can figure out, you know, or get it where we need it to go. And a little bit does go a long way. I only use maybe about 3 pumps on this. And yeah. It's pretty full coverage for me. I'm just kind of taking it, moving it all around, just making sure that it is put in place. So yeah. Now I am going to go in with another shade in the inner parts of my face using the Fit Me 360 Mocha. And I just kind of take that, since it's a little bit of a lighter shade, and I put that where I'm going to be using my concealer. So you'll see a lot of the same movements with my hands as I did with the foundation. So we're just applying this all around the same way. Now that we have blended in that second foundation, I'm going in now with the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Concealer. And I'm using 2 different shades. I'm using the shade Mahogany and I'm using Golden Honey. So I'm just going to take both of those and we're going to use like the little eye lift method where we just kind of go underneath the eye a little bit and the outer part of the eye, and we just kind of put a little bit there just so that way it gives us that little lift. I don't want to go too far down because then that makes the face look longer, and what we're going for is a more slimmer, more shorter face. So I am taking that concealer on the sides of my nose just so I can add a little bit of shape to it and kind of form it out a little bit more. And I'm going to do the same thing with both shades. So actually we're going to go in with the first shade, which is the Golden Honey, and the other, which is the Cappuccino. And we're going to put both of those on the sides of the nose and slim that thing on down. So also when you're doing the concealer, you want to conceal around the nose, on the chin area, and forehead, you know that. And as far as the nose, when you do your nose, don't go all the way down to the bottom. You want to stop mid-bottom just to give yourself that little, you know, that little tuck. Alright, so the next step, as you see, we're just going and doing the same thing with that lighter shade. We're going to use a wet beauty blender. That is a 360 beauty blender. It is a little damp. That does help with smoothing that concealer out a whole lot better. It will blend a whole lot better. So if you've never tried it with your beauty blender wet, please try it. And let me know how it goes, because for me, it just makes the concealer go on flawlessly, as you'll see. Now, child, if your hands are not hurting right now, you ain't blended enough. At this point, you need to make sure you're blending every line, every transitional line that you see, every part of concealer that you see, but make sure that you don't overblend, because there is a thing as such as overblending. We don't want to do that, because then that just kind of takes away the whole effect of the concealer. So yeah, just blend, but not blend too much. You know what I mean? Now that we have walked our hands like a dog, it is time to use the e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. I'm going to use that along with the same beauty blender that I used before, and I'm just going to tap that underneath the eyes just to freeze any lines into place, fill in those creases, because girl, don't nobody want no creases, no ma'am. Now it is time to go in with the Bacon Set Banana Rich Setting Powder by Morphe. And I'm just going to really go in with that and put it in all the places where we put the concealer. Those are the places that we are trying to highlight. So yeah, we're going to use that Morphe baking powder to set and all of that concealer. So we done set our, look at me, I'm a mess. We have set all of our Morphe powder. So I was about to do my contouring, but nope, changed my mind. I'm gonna do those brows first. So I was trying to get these brows all snatched, tamed, and framed, honey. So you also want to brush your brows upward in the direction that they do grow. That's what I'm doing now. That just makes the process a lot easier when you go to filling those in. You'll be able to see more of your eyebrow line a lot better. So I am using the NYX eye pencil in dark brown to shape out my brows and kind of fill them in. Now, sis, you do gotta, trust the process when it comes to these brows, because it can start off looking real, and then it be like, okay. It do get a little crazy when you do your brows, but just trust the process. So also when you're doing your brows, don't forget to use a spoolie to brush those brows out as you're applying the product, because you want to make sure that you don't have like a really dark brow. You just want to make sure that it's kind of like flawlessly faded, if that makes any sense. So now we're getting to the part where I'm just about like kind of satisfied with these brows. So it's time to clean them up, get them all fresh and crisp. I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Taupey, and along with that, I'm also using a flat Morphe brush. I cannot think of the name of it, but I will find it and pin it in the comments somehow. But I'm using that just to outline and give my brows more of a shape, since I've already filled it in with a pencil. And also, quick tip, if you want to warm up that concealer, make it a lot smoother to go on when you are concealing your eyebrows, then put it on the back of your hand. Yeah, just put it on the back of your hand, rub it through, and it'll warm it up. It makes it a lot easier to apply. So I did go in and cut some of the eyebrow part out, because that would have been so long. That would have made this video so long. So I did go in and cut out some of it. But as you can see, I'm doing the same thing I did to the left side, to the right side with concealing the brows. So after you've went ahead and tamed your brows, I did add the rest of the concealer that I had on the back of my hand, and I applied that to the lid, and I'm using the Jaclyn Hill brush there to blend it in, so we can make sure that's blended properly. We can also use this concealer that I'm putting on the lid as a primer for any shadows that you're going to use further in the video. So we did go back in with that e.l.f. HD powder, and I'm also applying that to the lids as well to set in the concealer that I just put on to my eyes. So I'm going to do that to both eyes, and then we'll get started with the palette. So now the palette that we're going to be using as for the eyeshadow is going to be the Juvia's Place. This is the Warrior 2 palette. The first color that I went in with was the Kufuru. Don't judge me, these names are really hard to do. But yeah, it's the Kufuru is going to be the first shade. And that I'm actually applying like in the lid area. And that's in the crease area. And then I'm gonna also go in with another palette. This is the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place, and the color that I'm using is Nana. I'm putting that also as a transition shade in that crease area. So this is when I switched to that other palette and I used the lighter shade Kessie, and I'm actually going to put that right on top of my lid. And you'll see me like kind of patting it in just to kind of blend it outward into that transition shade toward the end. So at this point, I did switch to the Real Technique brush just to buff that out as well. Yes, child, it's time to get to them eyes now. Now, quick hack, what I did do, I used an Essence. I used a volume mascara of Essence, but I actually took my Maybelline brush since it's a little bit skinnier, and I used that instead because it is so hard to do those bottom lashes and the top lashes with a big behind mascara brush. I'm not doing it. So I did change the brush out, but I just used the mascara in it. So now as far as the lashes that I use, these are an INV 3D brand. I actually just picked this up from the local hair supply store. And I'm using my Ardell clear glue to apply that. So as you can see, I've applied both lashes. I'm going to go over those lashes with my liquid eyeliner by NYX in the shade Black. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that. So I think I'm moving a little fast, but we're going to go in and now it's time to contour. I'm using the Black Radiance palette. I'm also using my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm using the darker shade as well as the sculpting shade. So I take that contour palette and both of those shades, and then I brush it on the palette itself, and then I just go ahead and apply it right underneath where I put that highlighter. And I do that on my forehead, around the chin area, just to make it a little slimmer. And even you'll see me later in this video use the BH Cosmetic fan brush to contour my nose. So after I contoured my nose, I did go back in with that same Morphe setting powder to set my nose again, just to kind of define that highlight line. So now, the next thing we're using is the Morph Finishing Effect powder. And what I'm going to do is take that and basically put it on every area that I contour and just apply it there. If you have not tried that Morph Finish Filter, I believe it's called Finishing Filter Powder, that gives me so much life. When I say it not only brings color to the face, but it makes that contour look flawless. Like everything just falls right into place. And I also went back in with that same Morph finishing powder, and I just applied it to my nose again, just to make that line a little bit more smooth. And then I also put it in places that I had my just foundation as well, because it does give you a flawless finish with the foundation. Now it is time to dust off that highlighter. This is where it will all come together, y'all. You had to trust the process, see it through. But yeah, we're just gonna we're not brushing that highlighter off. I'm actually pressing it into the skin. So try that. Next time you do your makeup, sis, instead of brushing it off and just letting all that, that powder fly everywhere, I want you to just push it inside. So just use tapping motions, push that powder inside, and it actually looks a lot better than doing it the way that I used to do it. Just look how flawless that looks. Everything just looks so seamless. It just looks good. Don't forget that chin, that up under that nose. Blend everything out. So now what I'm doing is going in with the e.l.f. HD powder again, but I'm using my setting brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going in up under the eyes, and I'm going to go in all the places that I put that concealer, just to set it again. Now we're going to take our Morph setting spray, and I'm just going to spray it all over my face, covering my eyes. Yeah, I almost choked. And then a beauty blender, the same 360 beauty blender, and while the face is still wet from that setting spray, just take that and kind of blend everything in. So just don't forget, even though we stopped blending in the beginning, you still got to blend throughout, honey. You still got to blend throughout this process. So the next thing is going to actually be a tip that I learned on YouTube, where you take your setting spray, and I sprayed it on my beauty blender, and I'm actually just going in back up under those eyes and around the chin, my smile line, all of that, just to set everything in place. So now let's get into highlighting. So the highlighter that I'm using is actually the Huron Loose Highlighter by Juvia's Place. And I'm also going to use a little technique where I spray the brush, and then I'm going to use a tap of that highlighter, because you don't want to go in too heavy with it. This needs to be very, very seamless as well. I'm just going to use my arm, and I'm just going to rub my brush and take it a little bit. And that setting spray, that actually makes it come through your skin a whole lot better. So yeah, try using that setting spray, spraying it either on your brush or on your beauty blender to put on that highlighter. So now that she is all glowed up, she is giving very much magic hour. Don't be afraid to use your fingers as a makeup tool to blend out any areas, because your fingers are your best friend. Yeah, I told y'all to wait because I'm going to take my finger, as I said, and use that on the bridge of my nose to apply my highlighter. And I'm also going to do it at the tip of my nose as well. So now I'm applying some blush. This is in Warm Berry, and I'm applying that using my really soft brush by More. And as you can see, I did not do a lot of it. I did only a little bit because I kind of outgrew the blush phase, but I just wanted to do it for you guys to show you how I do my blush. So now we're getting to the end of this video. I'm doing my lips. I am using that same NYX dark brown pencil to outline my lips. And chow, I like me some Kylie Jenner lips. My lips gotta be like very much overlined, because I love the volume that it gives me when I do that. I don't have any small lips, but I like my lips to look a little bit bigger. So now that I got those lips lined the way that I want, I am using 4 different lipsticks by NYX. The first one that you see me applying now is the NYX Lingerie. I think that's how you say that. And that one is in the shade Liplit. You'll then see me go in with a little tiny bit of the soft matte lip cream, and that one is in the shade Tokyo. And then also I go in with the butter gloss, which is a bit of honey. And then the last thing you'll see me apply is going to be my lip gloss, which is the NYX Mega Shine Lip Gloss by, this one's Smoky Look. Now the last thing you're going to see me do is apply some bottom lashes. I'm going to go in with a black eyeliner and then add my moles, and then I will come back and let you guys see the finished product. Alright you guys, this is the final look. I am so excited about this look. I just love everything about it. Some of the products I used were NYX, some were Morph, a lot of them were the Jaclyn Hill Morph brushes and the Real Technique brushes, but I'll make sure to put all that in the comment section below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment in the comment section what you want to see me do. Also, what you thought about this video. there's going to be a lot more coming, a lot more different looks. I'm going to go into some more colors as well, so we won't just stick with the neutral colors. We'll kind of branch out and do some other colors too. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed doing this video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so that way you be notified when I make new videos and new content. So yeah, bye guys.